Hi everybody and welcome to Weighted to Win's preview for Friday, the 2nd of September. It's a turf meeting at Fairview. I'm Daryl Marie and joining me shortly will be Darren Burrows to discuss the 9-race card. Firstly, let's just touch on our social media. On Twitter, our handle is @WeightedToWin, and you're also more than welcome to join us on WhatsApp. Our number is on screen below. Right, Darren Burrows, there's 9 races on card, so race number 1 doesn't form part of the exotics. How are we going to make our viewers money?
I thought the trifecta route is the best. You want to catch it multiple times. It's not going to pay too much money. Maradiva is the horse to beat. I know he's had 13 starts already, but he's not going to meet a weaker field, and he could finally break out the maidens. A horse like Dog Detachment should improve down in trip. His penultimate start on the turf, he only got outrun late. So at 14-1, I would include Dog Detachment, and Seismic Event should be thereabouts.
I have to agree with Darren Burrows. I don't believe there's any value in Maradiva's anti-post price. He's been priced up at 7-10. He's proven very, very costly to follow, but he could certainly get it right. But we, as a team, are playing to beat him, and we've decided on a trifecta boxed in race number 1. All of numbers 1, 2, 3, and 6. A single perm will cost you 24 Rand. We opting to choose 240 Rand. Don't forget to scan the QR code on the right-hand side. It's bipot time, race number 2 at Fairview, off time 12:05. The first leg of the bipot, are we bankering, Darren?
I thought the horse to beat, definitely a horse like Crimson King. Now, he's a quality horse on his day. I'm surprised he's still a 2-time winner in 18 starts. He has won a feature race in the past. Last time out in the Gold Cup, I think just put a line through that effort. He runs well fresh. I think he's the horse to beat over his stable companion, Never Ending Rain. I don't see anything else getting involved.
Well, it is a graduation plate, and there's joint best weighted over here. Number 1, Crimson King, and number 5, Never Ending Rain. I'm leaning towards number 1, Crimson King. Last time out, Darren touched on, he was seen out in the Gold Cup. He ran a little bit below par, but have a look at his start in the Cup trial, where he gave Airways Law 4.5 kilograms. I think that is better than what it appears on paper. So no doubt for me, number 1, Crimson King, the horse to beat in the first leg of the bipot. Let's have a look at the Weighted to Win suggested bipot on screen right now. We're playing the safe route. The first leg, we've got numbers 1 and 5, by 1, 5, 6, and 7, by 4, 8, and 9, by 4, 5, and 7, by 2 and 11, by 1 and 3. A full unit will cost you 288 Rand. Fairview race number 3, the first leg of the place accumulator, off time 12:35. Let's have a look at the anti-post markers. Favorite is number 1, Rhythm of the Rain at 12-10. Number 5, Spring Fever is at 3-1. Number 6, Red Sphere, and number 7, Divine Design are at 11-2. Darren Burrows, you've opted to select a PA for our viewers. Do you want to run us through your numbers and firstly discuss the third race, the first leg of the place accumulator?
Yes, I thought the horse to beat, Rhythm of the Rain. Last time out, I did say I've had enough. She was overdue last time out. She still couldn't get it right. But in the computer form, you'll see coughing in her last 3 starts. That is a concern, but I do believe she's a better turf horse. Her best run to date, I thought, came on the Fairview turf track when beaten by Angel Deb's a neck. On that sort of performance, she should finally get a maiden out the way. And I think she is a PA banker over horses like Spring Fever, Red Sphere, and the first time at Divine Design.
Yeah, certainly Rhythm of the Rain. She certainly has the racing experience on her side, but she does lack somewhat in the ability. But Darren has touched on her only run on turf out in Gqeberha, and that was certainly a decent effort and certainly has to give you confidence enough to bank her in the first leg of the place accumulator. I thought number 6, Red Sphere, could certainly improve. She's back up the straight and a set of blinkers go on. I think she had excuses last time around the bend. And then the first timer, there is a comment in the front of the computer form with regards to number 7, Divine Design. She will run well, if not too green. But let's have a look at Darren Burrows' PA for Fairview, race number 3. He has bankered number 1 in the first leg by numbers 4, 8, and 9, by 2, 5, 7, 9, and 10, by 2, 3, 4, 6, and 11, by banker number 1, by banker number 5, by 1 and 3. That perm will cost you 150 Rand. Fairview race number 4 is the first leg of the pick 6 off time, 1:05. Let's have a look at the anti-post markets. Number 7 is favourite at 9-2, Resonante. Number 2, Sugar Snap, is at 5-1. Third favourite in the market is number 3, Colour Coded. Darren, it's the first leg of the pick 6. Betting's wide open. Is it as tricky as what the betting suggests?
Yes, I believe they got the market all wrong here. I'm leaning towards horses like Hey Siri. Last time out on the poly, she was very far back turning for home, and she was making steady progress down the outside to get beaten a length and a half. She's by Ideal World out of a Caesar mare. The mile's going to be much more suited to her on the turf from a good draw. And then Chronicles of Narnia, number 8. She relocates from the Western Cape. Last time out, when she ran 7th behind Beneath the Moon, beaten 5 lengths, there's been 3 runners, 2 winners from that form line. So that form line's definitely holding up, and I think she's another one for the shortlist. And for third, My Apple Pie.
I have to agree with Darren. I really liked the local debut of number 9, Hey Siri. She caught the eye, she flashed up late. I think the switch to the turf will certainly pose no problems, and also the longer run in will be in her favour. So I do believe number 9, Hey Siri, is the filly to beat. I make the danger number 4, My Apple Pie. Much improved effort last time out on the turf. If she can just reproduce a similar effort to that, she could feature over here. But let's have a look at the weighted to win suggested bet for race number 4 out at Fairview. Well, it's my own personal pick 6. I've chosen to banker number 2 in the third leg, but let's run through those numbers. First leg, I've gone numbers 4 and 9 by 4, 5, and 7. Then comes up the banker number 2 by 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. The full field in the second last leg of the pick 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. It's a costly perm for 1050. Is the off time for race number 5. It's the first leg of jackpot number 1. Let's have a look at the anti-post markets. Current favourite is number 10, Mtlabeni, at 5-2. Number 7, Teophilia, is at 7-2. Thereafter, they're betting wide open, 6-1 the balance. Darren Burrows, once again a tricky event.
This is probably one of the most open races on the card. You know, all 10 runners have a say. But if I had to narrow it down, it would be numbers 2, 5, 7, 9, and 10, but in no particular order.
Yes, Darren touched on it. Is wide open. I just want to touch on number 4 over here, Atkinson Grimshaw. Now, I've been for him many a time in the past, but he is now back on the turf. And if you go back to his form line, I think it's 5 runs back. He was having his first start after a 4-month layoff, and he finished right on top of the leader on that occasion, just beaten a length or so. So back on the turf, he's super fit. I'm hoping he can race a little bit handier to the pace this time round and bounce back to what he's capable of. I think number 5, And We Dance, is live wire over here. All she has to do is reproduce a penultimate effort, where we saw that form line being franked with Bold Resolve winning 2 from there. So from a neat draw, I'm expecting her to be put in the race and be given every chance this time around. Let's have a look at the weighted to win jackpot 1. The numbers are on screen right now. Numbers 2, 4, 5, 7, and 9 for the first, 7, 9, and 10 for the first leg of jackpot number 1 by 2, 4, 11, by 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8, by the entire field at the back. That's a costly perm, 630 Rand. Welcome back all. It's on to race number 6, jackpot 2 time. Off time is 14:25. It's a merit rating at 68 over the 1400 meters. Darren Burrows, 5-1 the field, is that the case?
It is an open race, but I have got a first choice in Ushuaia, number 2. Now, his penultimate start, his first run in PE, ran on very strongly behind Narcos, beaten a short head. Last time I put a line through his run, he didn't handle the poly. The pace was too hot. He never really got involved. Back on the turf, blinkers on, 1 draw. I think the horse to beat. Dangers, Raise the Red Lantern up in trip, should be competitive. Others to consider, numbers 3, 4, and 6, but those are my first choices.
Yeah, I must admit, I think there's a lot of value to be had about number 2, Ushuaia. Currently 5-1 in the market. Darren touched on all the positives. I think what's key over here, he's back on the turf firstly. He's got Richard Free from a 1 draw. He's going to have the run of the race. I think all he has to do is reproduce his local debut and he will take a power beating. So I'm suggesting a 1 bet on number 2, Ushuaia. But let's have a look at the weighted to win perm for Jackpot 2 out at Fairview. The first leg, we've gone 3 horses, 2, 4, and 11, by 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8, by the full field, by 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 at the back. That perm will cost you 525 Rand or take a percentage thereof. Race number 7, it's the Jockey Club listed stakes over the 2,000 meters. Darren Burrows, if the track comes up soft, do you have your issues over the 2,000 meters for Santa Teresa?
It could be a problem, but I do believe she's looking for a bit of ground now. You know, before I didn't think she stayed, but in her last 2 starts over a mile, she's taken a long time to unwind her stride. And I just get the impression that maybe the 2,000 meters might be ideal for her right now. So I am going to lean towards Santa Teresa. You know, in Fairview, she's had 11 runs for 7 wins and 4 places. So she's ultra consistent, one of the best fillies to come out of PE over the years. And I'm hoping at the weight she's well in. I think she'll go very close to winning. Dangers would come from Integrity, Musical Glitch, and Flower of Saigon.
Yeah, now last time out, Santa Teresa was slightly disappointing that she didn't manage to get past Integrity. But have a look at her form line. She is 1-4-1 over the course and distance. That happened to be in this very race last year where she got the better of number 3, Musical Glitch by a neck. I'm not as confident as what Darren Burrows is with regards to the chances of number 1, but I do have healthy respect for her, and let's hope she does bounce back to her best because she is the darling of PE. Let's have a look at the weighted to win suggested bet for race number 7 at Fairview. Darren Burrows big on number 1, Santa Teresa. On to the 8th at Fairview. It's a Fillies and Mares MR93 over 1,000 meters. Let's have a look at the anti-post markets. We've got joint favorites in number 5, Fedra, and number 6, Red Berry at 22-10. Number 4, Dabawi Princess is at 4-1. Number 3, Civil Rights is at 9-2. Darren Burrows, any preference over here in the 8th?
I do have preference for Fedra. I know she's gone up in the ratings, but this filly just keeps on improving and keeps on winning. She is 1.5 kilos better off with Civil Rights for beating her by a neck. And I think she can follow up even though she's up in class. So I'm going to be leaning towards Fedra over Civil Rights and your top weight Soundcheck.
Yeah, for me personally, I do believe the class act in the race is number 1, Soundcheck. Now, last time out with the blinkers, she did run an improved race. But in the sticky conditions, well, that's if it does come up sticky, she could have her work cut out giving weight all around. Fedra, doesn't this filly just keep on improving? I always play to beat her, but she comes up trumps. She did pick up a maximum £8 penalty for her latest victory, but you can't discount the fact that she is improving with racing. The same can be said for number 6 over here, Red Berry. Now, since her short break, she's put in 2 solid efforts back on the turf. Don't ignore her chances. Let's have a look at the weighted to win suggested bet for race number 8. We are suggesting a trifecta boxed, all of numbers 1, 3, 5, and 6 for 24 Rand. Race number 9, an MR66, well, a Fillies and Mares 66 handicap over 1,000 meters. Let's have a look at the anti-post markets. Favorite number 3, Holly's View, is priced up at 2-1. Number 2, Feeling Foxy, is 7-2. Number 6, Pinnacle, is at 4-1. Darren Burrows, there's a couple of young 3-year-old fillies over here taking on the older brigade. How do you read the last race out at Fairview?
Well, I've got respect for your favourite Holly's View. Now, she comes out of 2 feature race efforts. She's unbeaten over course and distance. I think she'll go very close. But the value lies with Here in After. Number 1, Kumra Naidu stable are firing on all cylinders. Pumium Joker in form. Now, if you go back to August last year, she ran in a 98 handicap. She ran 4th to Spring Break. She picked up an 11-point penalty. It's taken a long time for her rating to come right down to 68 again, where I believe she'll be very competitive off this mark. So Here in After is the value at 14-1, but include numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Yes, a tricky event to end off proceedings out at Fairview. I just want to touch on the favourite Holly's View. Now, last time out, she finished just behind the likes of Ikoria, who ran 4th in the Grade 1 Ellen Robinson. She's making her handicap debut. So she could be the one to beat because she may well have benefited from the time off her track and strengthened up. So number 3, Holly's View, the one to beat, in my opinion. Don't discount the chances of number 4, Princess Debs. Last time out on the poly track, she didn't show that pace she did when winning in her penultimate start, and she could prove better than that effort. Let's have a look at the weighted to win suggested bet for race number 9 at Fairview. Darren Burrows suggesting a place bet on number 1, Here in After. Well, from the weighted to win team, Darren Burrows and myself, I hope you've enjoyed our preview for Fairview on the 2nd of September. Let's hope we've steered you in the right direction.